adaptation of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, presented by our Homeschool Co-op. So this is like the second time we've done a full run-through without stopping. So expect hiccups. We're not professionals, but we try our best to entertain you, and start the show.
Seasons, greetings, Christmas time is here again. Seasons, greetings, Christmas time is here again. Marley was dead, to begin with, as dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead. Of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he had been partners for I don't know how many years. But Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterwards, above their warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, clutching, covetous old sinner, secret and self-contained, and solitary as an oyster. External heat and cold had little influence on Scrooge. No warmth could warm, no wintry weather chill him. Once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. The door was open that he might keep an eye on his clerk, who was copying letters and trying to warm himself at a candle.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas a humbug, Uncle. Surely you don't mean that.
I do. A Merry Christmas. What right do you have to be merry? You're poor enough.
And what right have you to be dismal? You're rich enough.
If I could work my will, every idiot who goes around with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Uncle.
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
You don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good it has ever done you.
Christmas is a kind, forgiving, charitable time, and though it is I believe this has done me good, and will do me good when I say, God bless it. Don't be angry, Uncle. Come dine with us tomorrow.
Ha! Why did you ever get married?
Because I...
Don't say it. That's the only thing more ridiculous than a Merry Christmas.
Sorry to find you so resolute, but I'll keep my bit of Christmas secret to last. Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
Merry Christmas, Bob.
Merry Christmas to you.
Guess he doesn't know this.
Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge and Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. 7 years ago this very night.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is desirable that we make some provision for the poor and destitute. Many thousands are in need of common comfort, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are still... I wish I could say they were not.
Oh, I was afraid something had occurred to stop them.
Few of us have been endeavoring to raise the funds for some food and warmth. What shall we put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to remain anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. I support the establishments I have mentioned. Those who are badly off must go there.
But many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they had rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Scram! Get lost! You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
It's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient. A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all the earlier the next morning.
I will, sir. Thank you, sir.
Scrooge took his melancholy dinner and went home. He lived in the chambers which had once belonged to his deceased partner. They were a gloomy suite of rooms, and the yard was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, had to grope with his hands. Now, it is a fact that there was nothing at all particular about the knocker on the door, except that it was very large, but that does not explain what happened when Scrooge put his key in the lock of the door. To say he was not startled would be untrue, but he put his hand on the key, turned it, walked in, and lighted his candle. He walked through his rooms and, quite satisfied, closed his door and double-locked himself in. Thus secured against surprise, he put on his dressing gown and cap and sat down by the fire.
Who are you? What do you want with me?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley. You don't believe in me.
I don't. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a fragment of an underdone potato, but there's more of a gravy than of the grave about you, whatever you are. Mercy, dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
Do you believe in me or not?
I do, but why do spirits walk the earth?
It is required that a spirit that does not go forth in life is condemned to do so after death, to witness what it cannot share, that it might have shared and turned to happiness.
But why come to me?
It is at this time of year I suffer most. Why did I walk through the crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down and never raise them to that blessed star which led the wise men to a poor abode? Were there no poor homes to which its light would have conducted me? In life, my spirit never walked beyond our counting house. Now many weary journeys lie before me.
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, and benevolence were all my business.
Why are you chained?
I wear the chains I forged in life, link by link, yard by yard, captive bound and double ironed. Do you know the weight and length of the strong coil you bear? It is a ponderous one.
Jacob Marley, speak comfort to me, Jacob.
My time is nearly gone. I am here tonight. You have yet a hope of escaping my fate.
You were always a good friend to me, Jacob.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tonight when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over with, Jacob?
Look to see me no more, for your own sake. Remember what has passed between us.
Humbug.
Had it been a dream or not, although the thought of Marley's ghost bothered him exceedingly, Scrooge slept. When he awoke, it was so dark that looking out of bed, he could scarcely distinguish anything in his chambers. The bell began to chime the hour.
Are you the ghost whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past.
No, your past.
What business brings you here?
Your welfare. Rise and walk with me.
I am a mortal, liable to fall.
Touch my hand and you shall be upheld.
As the words were spoken, they passed the wall and stood upon an open country road, with fields on either hand. The city had entirely vanished. It was a clear, cold winter day with snow upon the ground.
I was a boy here.
Do you remember the way?
Remember it? I could walk it blindfolded.
Strange to have forgotten it for so many years.
As Scrooge walked along the country road, he was conscious of 1,000 odors, each one connected with 1,000 hopes and joys and cares long, long forgotten. In the distance, schoolboys shouted Merry Christmas to each other as they parted at crossroads.
These are shadows of the things that have been. They are not conscious of us.
They are going home for Christmas.
The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child neglected by his friends is left there still.
They left the road and soon approached a building of dull red brick. There was a chilly bareness in the place, which associated itself, somehow, with too much getting up by candlelight and not too much to eat. They went, the ghost and Scrooge, to a room where a lonely boy was reading near a feeble fire.
It is myself, all alone, with just a book for company. Poor boy. I wish, but it's too late now.
What is the matter?
Nothing. There was a boy singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should like to have given him something. That's all.
Let us see another Christmas.
I have come to take you home, dear brother. Home? Yes, home. For good and all. Father spoke to me so kindly one night that I wasn't afraid to ask him once more if he might come home. And he said yes, and he put me in a coach to bring you. We're to be together all Christmas long and have the merriest time we will.
Always a delicate creature, but she had a large heart.
So she had.
She died a woman and had, I think, children.
One child.
Your nephew, Fred.
Yes.
In a moment, they had left the school behind them and were now in the busy thoroughfares of a city. It was made plain enough by the dressings of the shops that here, too, it was Christmas time again.
My apologies, Ghost.
Do you know this place?
Know it? I was apprenticed here. Why, it's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart, Fezziwig alive again.
Oh, Ebenezer, Christmas Eve, Ebenezer. Let's clear away and have lots of beer.
It was done in a minute, and the warehouse was as snug and warm and bright a ballroom as you would desire to see upon a winter's night. In came a fiddler with her music book. In came Mrs. Fezziwig, one vast, substantial smile. In came the three Miss Fezziwigs, beaming and lovable. In came all the young men and women employed in the business. In they all came, one after another, some shyly, some boldly, some gracefully, some awkwardly, some pushing and some pulling. Away they all went, 20 couples at once, hands half round and back again the other way, down the middle and up again, round and round in various stages. There were more dances, and there was cake, and there were mince pies. Scrooge remembered everything.
A small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small?
He has spent but a few pounds of your immortal money, 3 or 4 perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
It isn't that, Spirit. He has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it had cost a fortune.
What is the matter?
Nothing particular. I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now, that's all.
My time grows short. Quick!
Again, Scrooge saw himself, older now, with an eager, restless look in his eye. He was not alone, but sat by the side of a fair, young girl, in whose eyes there were tears.
It matters little. To you, very little. Another idol has displaced me.
Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I am not changed towards you, am I?
Your promise to me was made when we were both poor and content to be so.
Have I ever sought news?
In words, no.
And what then?
It changed nature. Tell me, if there was nothing between us, would you seek me out and try to win me now?
You think not?
I'd gladly think of there was, if I could. I release you, Ebenezer, with a full heart for the man you once were. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
Spirit, show me no more. Why do you delight to torture me?
I told you these were the shadows of the things that have been. They are what they are. Do not blame me.
Remove me. I cannot bear it.
Awaking and sitting up in bed to get his thoughts together, Scrooge began to wonder when the next spirit would draw back his bed curtains. He did not wish to be taken by surprise, and so prepared himself for a good, broad field of strange appearances, so that nothing between a baby and a rhinoceros would have astonished him very much. Nothing happened, but he thought there might be a ghostly glow coming from the next room. This idea taking full possession of his mind, he got up and softly shuffled in his slippers to the door.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Come in. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Come before me. Have you never seen the like of me before?
Never.
Have you never walked with me or my brothers before?
Have you many brothers?
More than 1,800.
Spirit, conduct me where you will tonight, and let me profit by it.
Touch my robe.
The room, the fire, and all the surroundings vanished instantly, and they stood in the streets on Christmas morning. there was a strange air of cheerfulness, for the people shoveling snow and calling to one another were jovial and full of glee. The customers at the grocers and bakers were all so hurried and so eager in the hopeful promise of the day that they tumbled against each other, crashing their wicker baskets, and left their purchases upon the counter. Anne came running back to fetch them. In the midst of all this cheerful confusion, it was a great surprise to Scrooge to hear hearty laughter. It was a much greater surprise to Scrooge to recognize it as his own nephew's, and to find himself in a bright, gleaming room.
All right, so should we have another round of Blind Man's Bluff, or should we have another game?
Let's play a game.
Let's play a game of yes or no.
Okay, we can do yes, no.
But first we'll have a big winner.
Very well. Ask your questions.
Is it a mineral?
No.
Vegetable?
No.
Animal?
Yes.
Is it a country animal?
No.
Then you must live in the city.
Naturally.
She's very smart, Fred's wife.
Is it a dog?
No.
Does it walk on two legs?
Yes.
A tame bear?
No.
Is it a disagreeable?
Rather.
Who wears a top hat?
Undoubtedly.
It's your Uncle Scrooge.
Yes, a very smart girl, your niece. Come down, my time grows short.
The spirit led him to a poor corner of the city, where Scrooge's clerk, Bob Cratchit, lived with his large family. They were preparing their Christmas dinner, small though it appeared for so many, yet filled with all the cheer of the season.
Spirit, what's wrong with that child, Tiny Tim?
Nothing that couldn't be mended by a good doctor, but far out of the reach of your poor clerk's pocketbook.
Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. If he were here, I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day?
Only on Christmas Day would anyone drink the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert.
My dear, Christmas Day.
Long life to him. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Once again, it's Christmas time.
Spirit, will the child, Tiny Tim, live?
I see a vacant seat and a crutch without any owner. If these shadows remain unaltered, then the child Tiny Tim will die.
Oh no, kind spirit. Say he will be spared.
What then? If he'd rather die, then he'd better do it and decrease the surplus population.
As the Cratchit's humble dwelling faded from Scrooge's view, he heard in the distance a clock striking 12. He looked about him for the ghost and saw it not. As the last stroke ceased, he remembered the prediction of Jacob Marley.
Are you the ghost of Christmas yet to come? You will show me the things that have not yet happened. Is that so, Spirit? I fear you more than any specter that I have ever seen. But I know your purpose is to do me good. Will you not speak to me? Lead on, Spirit.
As Scrooge followed in the shadow of the spirit's robes, the city seemed to spring up about them. But there they were in the heart of it, amongst the men of business, who hurried up and down and clinked the money in their pockets and conversed in groups and looked at their watches, as Scrooge had seen them do often.
I don't know much about it either way. I know he did.
But what has he done with his money?
He left it to me. That's all I know.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral. I don't know anyone who would want to go to it.
I don't mind going, if lunch is provided.
But where is the shadow of my future self? I'm usually passing through here this hour of the day.
They left the busy scene and went into an obscure part of town where Scrooge had never been before. They entered a dirty shop where iron, old rags, bottles, and bones were bought and sold.
Well, Joe, what did you find in the old sinner's rooms? Something that'll fetch a pretty penny, no doubt.
It's covered links in a pencil case.
Here's his best shirt. You won't find a hole or a thin place on it. They would have wasted it if I hadn't got to it. They put it on him to be buried in, but I took it off again.
What's this, bed curtains?
Yes, bed curtains.
You don't mean you took him down with him lying there?
Why not? He doesn't need it.
Spirit, I see that the case of this unhappy man might be my own. My life certainly tends that way now.
This is the end of it, you see. He frightened everyone away from him when he was alive, to prompt us when he was dead.
Is there no one in this town who feels emotion caused by this man's death? Let me see some tenderness.
The spirit conducted him through several streets, and Scrooge looked here and there to find himself, but nowhere was he to be seen. They entered Bob Cratchit's house, where he had been before. The mother and children were seated around the fire, but it was much quieter than the time before.
Spirit? Are these shadows of things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only? I am not the man I was. Why show this to me if I am past all hope? I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. Tell me I may sponge away the writing on this stone.
It seems you have forgotten, but how could you forget the love that others gave to you? They gave without regret. For when you look back through your life, you see that it is true. But if you have forgotten, love has not forgotten you. And did you never notice the people by your side? The ones who go through life with you in each turning of the tide. When just a word from you could be an answer to their prayer. But if you never noticed, love still knows you are there. And could you not imagine your future waiting there? A future full of emptiness and ending without care. Oh, the God of second chances is calling out to you. What will you do with the love He's shown to you? Although you had forgotten, it's time to turn the page, to change into somebody who will live in their old age. For Christmas time of all the year is a time to make things new. So if you could not imagine, or if you never noticed, and if you have forgotten, love has not forgotten you.
Merry Christmas, Ebenezer.
They are not torn down. They are here. I am here. The shadows of the things that may have been may be dispelled. I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. Hello, my fine fellow.
Who, me?
Tell me, what day is it?
It's Christmas Day.
I haven't missed it. The spirits, they did it all in one night. Tell me, do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
The one as big as me?
Yes.
Hanging there now?
Yes. Go and buy it. Tell them to bring it here. Come back with the man and I'll give you a shilling. Come back in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown.
Half a crown?
I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's. They shan't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Now that is a turkey. It's much too heavy to carry on foot. You must have a cab. Here you go. My dear sirs, a Merry Christmas to you both.
Mr. Scrooge?
Allow me to apologize for yesterday, and, if I may,
Are you serious?
and not a farthing less, a great many back payments are included in it, I assure you.
Merry Christmas!
A Merry Christmas to you both. Fred!
Bless my soul.
It's I, your Uncle Scrooge. Tell me, is there still a place for me at your Christmas dinner?
Well,
Of course, and we'd be happy to have you.
yes, of course, certainly, Uncle.
A Merry Christmas to you. I'll be there in an hour, with bells on. And now, to Bob Cratchit's. Hey, shut the door, shut the door. What do you mean by not coming into work today?
I was to have the day off, sir.
You were. Is that any way to get on in the world? I tell you, sir, that from now on things will be different. Yes, different, because I, Ebenezer Scrooge, will not stand for this sort of thing anymore.
Whatever do you mean, sir?
I mean that I intend to raise your salary and assist your struggling family. Merry Christmas, Bob.
And a Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Scrooge.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father, because, as a good friend, as a good master, and as good a man as the good old city ever saw, it was always said of Scrooge that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that truly be said of us, and of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We
Hello? Is this one still working? Okay. Thank you for coming tonight. Of course, we are also doing this again tomorrow night, so if you want to come again, then you're welcome to do that, because we're not charging you money for this, because we know that it's not worth money. So thank you for coming tonight. We'll maybe see you tomorrow night, and have a good night.